Welcome to Global Sky Update. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for more updates. I'm sure you've heard the news. In an age of stealth jets and cyber warfare, Donald Trump proposes a dramatic return to the past, bringing back the American battleship. Once symbols of U.S. naval supremacy, these steel giants were retired decades ago. Trump envisions a navy commanding the seas with massive, heavily armored warships. The proposal has ignited fierce debate. Is it a bold move to restore dominance or a costly step backward? Is the answer in steel and firepower or in embracing tomorrow's technology? The debate continues. Trump's argument centers on distrust of aluminum in today's warships, calling it too weak for combat. He blames lightweight construction for major damage from minor attacks. Trump insists American sailors deserve steel, not tin cans. He contrasts WW2 battleships' toughness with today's fleet. For Trump, steel is a metaphor for American strength, built to last. His answer is clear: build it strong, build it American. When you think battleships, you think big guns. The Iowa-class ships boasted 9 16-inch guns, each firing massive shells over 20 miles. Trump argues this firepower is not only intimidating, but also more cost-effective than today's expensive missiles. Supporters say battleships can deliver overwhelming firepower for less, especially in shore bombardment roles. Unlike missile-limited destroyers, a battleship can unleash hundreds of shells in a single barrage. There's also a reliability argument. Shells aren't vulnerable to electronic jamming or cyber attacks like smart missiles. In a high-tech war, Trump believes brute force could be a crucial fallback. But critics point out that modern missiles offer precision and range battleship guns can't match. Missiles can strike targets hundreds of miles away, guided to specific windows. Battleship guns are line of sight only. The core debate: overwhelming, cost-effective artillery versus surgical long-range missile strikes. Trump is betting that in a real war, raw firepower and resilience will matter more than high-tech precision. Is he right, or is the era of the big gun truly over? The answer could shape the Navy's future. The stakes are high. To understand the battleship's appeal, look to history. For decades, these ships were the ultimate symbols of national power. From the British dreadnoughts to the American Iowas, battleships dominated naval strategy. Their mission: seek out and destroy enemy fleets in decisive battles. Chewy water sans. Ships protected convoys, bombarded beaches, and supported amphibious assaults. Their guns obliterated bunkers and paved the way for Marines. But Battleships also exposed their vulnerability. At Pearl Harbor, aircraft sank or crippled battleships, proving air power's dominance. The aircraft carrier soon eclipsed the battleship as the Navy's capital ship. Still, battleships found new roles in Korea, Vietnam, and even the Gulf War, serving as floating artillery. Modernized with missiles, the last Iowas fired their guns in Iraq before being retired for good in the 1990s. The era of the battleship seemed over, until now. Trump's proposal asks if these steel giants still have a place in modern warfare. Is there a role for old-school firepower in a world of drones and missiles? That's the question at the heart of this debate.
The battleship debate is unfolding as China's Navy surges onto the world stage.
In just decades, China's Navy has grown from coastal defense to a global force, building warships at a pace unseen since World War II.
By some counts, China's Navy is now larger than America's in sheer numbers, a major concern in Washington.
China's investing in advanced carriers, stealth destroyers, and carrier-killer missiles designed to keep U.S. ships at bay.
This anti-access strategy threatens the Navy's traditional carrier groups.
Here's where battleship supporters see an opening. A heavily armored ship might survive a missile hit that would cripple a modern destroyer.
A reactivated battleship bristling with modern defenses could serve as a tough command ship or missile platform.
The battleship could challenge China's strategy by pushing through missile no-go zones and striking coastal targets.
It's a different kind of power projection. Resilience and brute force, not just stealth and range.
But would a battleship really survive in a high-tech missile environment?
That's the question facing Pentagon planners.
Is there room for old-school armor in a new arms race?
The answer could shape the next era of naval warfare.
The stakes are global.
Most naval experts remain deeply skeptical about reviving battleships.
The main issue is vulnerability. A massive battleship is impossible to hide and would be a prime target for modern missiles.
Their guns, while powerful, have limited range compared to today's missiles and aircraft.
To use their main weapons, battleships would have to get dangerously close to enemy shores, exposing them to attack.
The cost is staggering. Reactivating a single Iowa-class ship would require billions and a complete overhaul.
Critics argue that money would be better spent on new destroyers, submarines, or unmanned systems.
Operating costs are huge, especially with crews of nearly 1,800, 6 times that of a modern destroyer.
The Navy already struggles to recruit enough sailors for its current fleet.
In short, critics see battleships as expensive, manpower-intensive, and fundamentally outdated.
They believe the future lies in smaller, faster, more advanced, and even unmanned platforms.
The battleship, they say, belongs in museums, not in the fleet of tomorrow.
Is nostalgia clouding judgment, or is there a real case for their return? The debate rages on.
The battleship debate has moved from military circles to the national stage, with strong opinions on both sides.
Inside the Navy, most senior officers are skeptical. One admiral told me, "The fight of tomorrow will be won with information, speed, and precision, not tonnage." The Navy's budget is already stretched thin by next-gen submarines and carriers. Many see battleships as a costly distraction, but some ground commanders remember the value of battleship firepower in supporting troops ashore.
Politically, Trump's proposal is classic, bold, simple, and resonant with his base. For supporters, it's about visible strength and rejecting delicate solutions. It fits perfectly with the "Make America Great Again" message. Opponents, including many Democrats and moderate Republicans, call it a dangerous fantasy. They argue the Navy needs a 21st century fleet, not a return to the 1940s. One senator told me, "This would waste billions and make our sailors less safe." The battleship has become a new dividing line in Washington's defense debate. Is it a symbol of strength or a costly relic?
The answer depends on your vision for America's future at sea. Beyond strategy, the economics of reactivating battleships are daunting. Reactivating a single Iowa-class ship could cost billions just to get it seaworthy. These ships have sat idle for decades. Every system would need rebuilding or replacement. The iconic guns require specialized ammunition no longer in production. Manufacturing would have to restart from scratch. To survive today, battleships would need modern missile defenses and electronics, adding hundreds of millions more. Annual operating costs would be enormous, especially for fuel. These ships are notorious gas guzzlers. The biggest cost? The crew. Each battleship needs around 1,800 sailors, 6 times more than a modern destroyer. Paying, training, and supporting that many sailors would cost hundreds of millions every year. When you add up reactivation, modernization, fuel, and crew, a small fleet of battleships could rival the cost of an entire carrier strike group. For the price of one battleship, the Navy could build several new ships or invest in next-generation tech. Critics say the battleship simply doesn't offer enough bang for the buck. In an era of tight budgets, every dollar counts. The economic argument may be the battleship's biggest obstacle. For planners, it's a tough sell. So where does this leave us? The battleship debate is about more than hardware. It's a crossroads for the Navy and American defense.
On one side, Trump's vision: resilience, heavy armor, and overwhelming firepower, a call to return to visible strength.
On the other, the prevailing view: information, speed, stealth, and long-range precision.
The future fleet may be a network of manned and unmanned platforms, striking from afar and coordinating across domains.
The U.S. faces rising threats from China, Russia, and others, all while budgets are tight and the Navy struggles to grow. Every dollar spent on battleships is a dollar not spent on submarines, destroyers, or new technologies. The real question: what's the best way to secure America's interests at sea for the next 50 years? Does the answer lie in reviving Steel Titans or in pushing forward with new tech? There are compelling arguments on both sides, but no easy answers. The decisions made now will shape America's power for decades. The future of the Navy and the global balance hangs in the balance. The debate is far from over. America must choose its path. Thank you for watching.